Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video I'm bringing you episode 90 of my brand new Comics Haul series. The series where each and every week when I grab my new books from my pull list at my local comic shop, I show you guys every issue I picked up and I tell you everything you need to know about every single issue. Really big week this week. I've got 8 issues in total. I ended up spending a whole bag today at the comic store because there was also a couple weeks worth of Marvel comics that I haven't been getting for the last few weeks that all came in. So I've got a lot of reading to catch up on. So a couple of the issues that I'm talking about here from Marvel that we'll get to in a second. I actually haven't read issues prior of those same series that I would need to be able to get into these. So we'll get into that once I get to those. But we're going to start this off with my most anticipated issue of the week. As always, this is one of the biggest releases of the year. This is Batman Spawn issue number 1. From DC Comics and Image Comics. It's an intercompany crossover. I don't think I've ever bought one of these before, any sort of crossover thing. Marvel and DC did a crossover way back in the day, and Batman and Spawn have done a couple crossovers before, but I think those were both in the 90s, if not like the early 2000s. Now they're finally coming back for this big prestige one-shot. This does cost $7, but I think you get a good amount of pages in here. And the creative team is on the back here. We've got Todd McFarlane writing the whole thing, the original creator of Spawn. I'm going to show some of the interior artwork here, which is done by Greg Capullo. So they've worked together on Spawn stuff before. Greg Capullo did a really long Batman run that ended up turning into the Dark Knight's Metal and Dark Knight's Death Metal events with Scott Snyder. So definitely some veterans of the business on this one. I wasn't too happy to see that Todd McFarlane was writing this, to be honest, because I'm not the biggest fan of his writing style in general. But he's been getting a little bit better about not including as much exposition and stuff like that in his Gunslinger Spawn series. So definitely looking forward to reading this. Not sure what they're going to do. I guess some sort of universe hopping type thing. Who knows if Spawn's going to be in the DC universe or vice versa. But I've never read any of the Batman Spawn stuff, so I'm going to be going into this new. And I will be trying my best to post a review of this issue, non-spoiler. So if you want a little bit more info, make sure to check that out. That's Batman Spawn number 1, my most anticipated issue of the week. But let's continue on with Image Comics, even though that was only half an issue, Image issue officially. This next one here, though, this is Art Brett number 1. This is a new, I think, ongoing series from Image Comics. I don't know too much about this one, but I saw the creative team when it was solicited. It's W. Maxwell Prince writing this. The art is by Martin Morazzo, and they're also the creative team on the ongoing Ice Cream Man series, which I'm not sure if that's wrapping up or if they're just taking a break to try out this new series. Ice Cream Man, I've heard such good things about. I figured I'd have to try this brand new ongoing series, a place to jump on board with this creative team and see what they actually have in store. The artwork in here looks pretty detailed, some thin line work, so I'm really excited to get into this. I don't know too much about it, but from what I've heard, it has to do with our character Art Brut. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right when I said it the first time, but he is like some sort of art inspector. There's been weird occurrences going on in the art world, so from what I've heard, this first issue, it's like the Mona Lisa winking. Somehow the painting has changed and he has to investigate it, and it goes down some sort of trippy path, based on the cover at least, from there. So I'm excited to try this one out, Art Brut. Next up, though, another new ongoing series from Image Comics. This one is Nightclub number 1. So this has something to do with teenage vampires. I don't know too much more than that, but it is written by Mark Millar, and the art is by Juanan Ramirez. But this is a $2 comic, you guys. That's why anyone is actually picking this up, but it is a new story, and I guess Mark Millar has the budget to do an experiment like this and see if he can actually still make money on a $2 comic. Image Comics coming in with the quality, though, because this is a full issue. It's not like cardstock or anything, because that would just be insane for $2. But yeah, you get your 20 pages of content in here, and it's only a $2 price tag. You know, like all the Spawn titles only cost $3. Those have cardstock covers, so you can always rely on Image Comics for that good quality. Like I said, I don't know too much about this, but I had to try it out because of the price tag, and hopefully it's also a good comic. I really haven't read anything, I think, maybe just a couple things by Mark Millar, even though he's such a famous writer, just because a lot of his stuff is for DC. He's done some independent stuff I've never read, so curious to try this one out. That's Nightclub number 1. Let me know if you guys are going to try that one out also, whether it's for the price tag or just for the story or whatever. But next up here, I've got Dark Ride issue number 3. This is my last Image Comics before we get into the Marvel issues. So this series has been pretty good so far. I really, really liked the first issue. It was like a big oversized one where we saw this kid who starts working at the theme park. I'm forgetting what it's called. What's the whole theme park called? I forget. But it's basically like this demonic themed, like scary theme park. that's become really world famous. It's like the opposite of Disneyland, right? It's like hell themed. So we've got these weird mascots. There seems to be some sort of evil motive behind them. We don't know if they're actually human, if there's actually people under there. And we saw that kid that got hired in the first issue get like killed on a ride that he went on. And since then it's been kind of mysterious. They're acting like he just quit. And we see the behind the scenes of who's running the park, how there's like this mysterious father of the son that's now like actually running the park. And everyone's waiting for the father to make a new ride because he was the one who made all of the originals. There's a lot more going on. It's a pretty interesting series so far. Really weird concept though. It's not anything you'll read anywhere else. So I do recommend it so far. It's a pretty quick read, at least the first couple issues were. So I'm feeling this out still. I guess I'll try a couple more issues and see what I think. Dark Ride number 3. Moving on to Marvel Comics though. The first issue that I've got here, this is Amazing Spider-Man number 15. So we've got guest art in this issue. It is a Dark Web tie-in. So the next, I think, 4 or 5 issues of Amazing Spider-Man are all going to be tied into the Dark Web. And since we don't actually have like we don't actually have a main event Dark Web comic like we have for other Marvel events, I think you actually have to read Amazing Spider-Man to get the main story. We just had the Dark Web like one-shot that released last week. That starts the whole event, and then there's also like some different mini-series coming out that are going to tie in as well. Really janky cover though, I have to point this out. Why is Venom so skinny looking? I don't think he's actually supposed to be like that. It's just John Romita not knowing how to draw Venom. Who knows what's going on there. Let's look at some interior artwork here though. This is by Ed McGuinness, so looking pretty cool in here. I do not really mind John Romita Jr.'s artwork that much most of the time when he's an interior artist, but I gotta say, this art is looking really fresh, and it'll definitely be nice to have some guest art for this Dark Web event, to be honest. I haven't read the Prelude issue, which was number 14, or Dark Web number 1 yet, because I was waiting on that issue to come in. I just got it this week along with all these other books, so I'm excited to try to get into Dark Web, see what's going on, and yeah, we'll see what comes for the future with that event. Next up, though, this is another one that I have to read the first issue of to get into this one also, because I just got a hold of the first issue. But this is Planet Hulk Worldbreaker, so this is number 2. And it's written by Greg Pak, so this is a direct sequel to the Planet Hulk series, which was like probably my favorite comic when I was a kid. I used to check out that collection from the library of the entire Planet Hulk saga and just reread it over and over again, along with World War Hulk. So definitely a special story to me, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk together. And seeing that the original writer is coming back on board to tell this story that's apparently like 1,000 years in the future from what I've heard, was really exciting. So I'm very curious to get into these first couple issues. The artwork is looking pretty good in here, but this is basically set on a faraway planet called Sakaar. If you guys aren't familiar with the Planet Hulk story, he was sent to that planet by the Illuminati. They cast him away from Earth because he was causing too much destruction on there, and he lived out his life on Sakaar, and when it was blown up, he blamed them and came back to Earth and fought all the heroes in World War Hulk. So really curious to see what's going on in this book. And yeah, set in the far future, also written by Greg Pak. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this. I'm really curious if you've already started reading it. Planet Hulk Worldbreaker, that's issue number 2. Just a couple more issues here that I picked up this week, though. This is the last one that I got from Marvel. This is Deadpool issue number 2. That first issue, I made a review of it if you guys do want to check that one out. I liked it a lot better than I thought I would, because we've got a brand new writer on this. It's Alyssa Wong writing. The artwork is by Martin Coccolo, who's one of my favorite new rising star artists, and they both knocked it out of the park. I thought it really captured the spirit of Deadpool, him just joking in serious situations. And I don't know, it's just like a fun read, a quick read, and there wasn't too much to the plot or anything. It was just like a fun comic like Deadpool should be, right? And we've got Doc Ock on the cover there. To give you guys a little bit of a summary of the plot that we've got going on from the first issue, basically Deadpool is trying to join this elite group of assassins that he wants to be a part of. They gave him a mission to hunt down Doc Ock in a 48-hour time period, so that's his main mission right now. But since then, he's met this villain called the Harrower, who's on panel right here, and she implanted him with a Carnage symbiote that she's trying to grow. So now he's got this symbiote. It looks like we've got some body horror in here. This remnant of the Carnage symbiote that's within his body that's eating him alive as he's trying to kill Doc Ock. And a couple more factions are involved. So definitely really interesting plot so far. I like the concept. And I always like when Doc Ock is involved in any series. Really well done first issue. I hope they'll continue with that momentum for the second one and the rest of the series. But the last issue that I got this week for New Comic Book Day, I know, really big haul for me, especially this week. This is Grimm. This is issue number 6 from Boom Studios. I feel like it's been a little while since we've had an issue of this series. I want to say maybe 1 or 2 months. And to be completely honest, I always forget what's going on in this series. I don't even know why. Maybe it's because they don't really have text recaps, I think. No, they don't have the recap page that Marvel Comics and DC Comics usually have. because there is a lot going on plot-wise, but to give you guys what I can remember from this series, we've got our main character, Jessica Harrow. She is able to do other things that Grim Reapers, because there's a bunch of different Grim Reapers in this universe, can't do. She's able to like interact with humans in the living world, which the Grim Reapers' jobs are just to go and collect people that have died, bring their spirits to the afterlife across this like sea of skeletons of dead spirits. But she's different than the rest, and we've gotten revealed why that actually is in the last issue. Some things about her past have been revealed, and there's some great characters in this. I think just like the dialogue between characters, the progression of like characters' story arcs and stuff is really well done in this series. Let me show some interior artwork here, though. Probably my favorite part of the series is the artwork. It's really like vibrant and colorful, and I think it just works really well for the story they're trying to tell. I have heard this is a slower issue, so I'm not sure if this is really like the end of the arc or if it's just kind of a one-shot story in between arcs or something, because I know they're taking a little bit longer of a break after this issue before we get another one. Here's another page of artwork. So yeah, Grimm, pretty good series so far. I like really, really loved the first couple issues. Since then, it hasn't been as great in my opinion, but like still worth reading. So I'll continue on with it. I'll pick up probably at least a few more issues, and if it's not good, I'll drop it. But we'll see. Grimm, pretty good series. I do recommend that one. So that's all of the issues that I picked up for New Comic Book Day this week. I want to know what you guys got, though, also. Let me know down in the comments section below. Which issue are you looking forward to the most this week? And if you do want to show a little bit more support to the channel, we're getting closer and closer to 500 subscribers. So make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to join the community. And that's about it for this week's New Comic Haul. Like I said, make sure to look out for my Batman Spawn review. I'll be trying my best to put that out today, if not tomorrow. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.